A mother left her daughter alone with their dog at home, but when she returned, she found something that will shock the entire world. Patricia's hands trembled as she inched closer to her daughter and the dog, her mind racing with a mixture of dread and disbelief. The room seemed to pulsate with an unnatural stillness, the only sound being the low, guttural growl emanating from the dog. Its eyes, once warm and inviting, now gleamed with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. "Emma," Patricia called out softly, her voice cracking. Her daughter didn't respond, her gaze locked on the dog, her tiny body frozen in place as if under a spell. The dog growled louder as Patricia took another step forward, its stance protective yet strangely ominous. Her eyes flicked to the object the dog was guarding, partially hidden beneath its large paws. A glint of light reflected off something metallic. Patricia's breath hitched. What was it? Summoning every ounce of courage, she crouched to get a better look. Her fingers brushed the edge of the object, and the dog growled, but didn't attack. It was as if it wanted her to see, to understand. Patricia carefully pulled the item free, and when it came fully into view, her gasp echoed in the silent room. In her hands was a strange, intricate device unlike anything she had ever seen. A smooth, metallic cube covered in glowing symbols that pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. The symbols shifted as if alive, rearranging themselves into patterns that seemed to speak a language her mind couldn't comprehend. "What is this?" Patricia whispered. The dog barked once, a sharp, commanding sound that startled her out of her trance. It nudged the cube with its nose, then looked directly at Patricia with those unnerving eyes. In that moment, she realized the dog wasn't just a dog, it was something more. Something sentient. Patricia's daughter, Emma, finally spoke, her voice eerily calm. "Mommy, it showed me pictures, it told me things." "What are you talking about, Emma?" Patricia asked, her heart pounding. "The dog," Emma said, her wide eyes filled with wonder and fear. "It showed me the stars and other worlds. It said we have to protect this cube because bad people want it." Patricia's knees went weak as the weight of her daughter's words sank in. Her gaze darted back to the cube, which now hummed softly in her hands, its glow intensifying. The air in the room seemed charged with energy, as if the object was alive or calling out. Before she could process further, there was a loud crash outside the house. The sound of heavy boots stomping through the yard sent adrenaline surging through her veins. Patricia rushed to the window and peeked through the curtains, her blood ran cold. Men in black tactical gear were approaching the house, their movements precise and coordinated. Each carried a weapon, their eyes scanning the area. With military precision, one of them spoke into a headset, and Patricia's heart sank as she realized they were coming for the cube. The dog barked again, a deep, commanding sound that snapped Patricia back to the moment. It moved to the center of the room, its stance protective as if ready to fight. Emma clung to her mother, tears streaming down her face. "Mommy, we have to run," Emma cried. Patricia held her daughter tightly, her mind racing. The cube was vibrating now, almost as if it were responding to the threat. Suddenly, the symbols on its surface rearranged into a clear pattern and image of a door surrounded by swirling light. The dog barked urgently, nudging Patricia toward the cube. It wanted her to do something. But what? With a deep breath, Patricia placed her hand on the cube. In an instant, the room was bathed in brilliant light, and the cube emitted a low, resonant hum that shook the walls. The air seemed to warp around them, and Patricia felt a strange pull, as if the very fabric of reality was bending. The next thing she knew, she, Emma, and the dog were no longer in their living room. They were standing in a vast, otherworldly landscape filled with towering structures of shimmering crystal and skies that shifted colors like a living painting. The cube floated in the air before them, its glow pulsing steadily. The dog, now calm and composed, turned to Patricia and Emma. Its eyes, no longer intense but filled with a deep intelligence, seemed to communicate something unspoken. "You are safe, for now." Patricia realized that their lives would never be the same. Whatever this cube was, it held secrets beyond her imagination, and now, She and her daughter were part of a cosmic mystery that could change the fate of the world. But first, she had to figure out who or what was after them, and why the dog had chosen them to protect the cube. Patricia took a deep breath, her senses overwhelmed by the alien world around her. The air felt lighter here, charged with an energy she couldn't describe. Emma clung to her side, her small hand gripping tightly, while the dog stood alert, its ears twitching as though listening for something. "Where are we?" Emma whispered, her voice trembling with both fear and wonder. Patricia knelt down to Emma's level, placing a reassuring hand on her daughter's shoulder. "I don't know, sweetheart, but we're safe for now." She glanced at the dog, who was staring intently at the floating cube. I think it brought us here." The cube emitted a soft hum, its glow intensifying slightly. Suddenly, it projected a beam of light into the air, forming a holographic image. Patricia and Emma gasped as a figure materialized, a humanoid being cloaked in shimmering robes, its face obscured by a hood. Its voice was melodic yet commanding, resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "You have been chosen," the figure began, its words carrying a weight that seemed to echo through the crystalline structures around them. "The artifact you hold is a key to the Nexus, a gateway that connects all worlds. It is a source of immense power, sought after by those who would use it to enslave and destroy." Patricia's heart raced. Why did you give it to us?" The figure raised a hand, and the holographic image shifted to show scenes of Earth, a montage of people, cities, and nature. "The Nexus seeks those who are pure of heart and possess an unyielding spirit. The bond between your family and the Sentinel," it gestured toward the dog, "made you the perfect guardians." The dog, Patricia looked at the animal, now sitting calmly but watching the figure intently. "What is it? It's not just a dog, is it?" The figure seemed to smile beneath its hood. "The Sentinel is an ancient protector, a being designed to safeguard the Nexus and its chosen bearers. It has taken this form to earn your trust and to guide you on your path." Emma stepped closer, her eyes wide with curiosity. "But why are people trying to hurt us? Why do they want the cube?" The figure's expression grew somber. "The Nexus has enemies, beings who seek to control its power to bend reality to their will. They are relentless and will stop at nothing to obtain the artifact. Your escape was only the beginning. You must learn to unlock its true potential and protect it from falling into the wrong hands." The hologram flickered and the figure continued, its voice more urgent. "Follow the Sentinel. It knows the way to the sanctuary, a hidden place where you will find allies and learn the secrets of the Nexus. But be warned, the enemy will not stop. They are already searching for you." Before Patricia could ask more questions, the hologram faded, and the cube returned to its dormant state, floating silently in the air. The dog barked once, a sharp, purposeful sound, and began walking toward a path that wound through the crystalline landscape. It looked back at Patricia and Emma as if urging them to follow. Patricia hesitated, her mind spinning with questions and doubts. She wasn't a warrior or a hero, she was just a mother trying to keep her daughter safe. But as she looked at Emma's innocent face and the determined posture of the Sentinel, she knew she didn't have a choice. Whatever this journey entailed, she would face it for Emma's sake. "Come on," she said, taking Emma's hand. "We have to trust it." They followed the Sentinel through the shimmering world, the path beneath their feet glowing faintly with every step. Strange creatures darted in and out of view, their forms ethereal and otherworldly. The air buzzed with an energy that felt alive, almost sentient. As they walked, Patricia's thoughts turned to the men in black. Who were they? How did they know about the cube? And most importantly, how far would they go to get it? Hours passed, or maybe it was minutes. Time seemed different here, for they arrived at a massive crystalline structure that seemed to pulse with light. The Sentinel stopped, barking once more. The cube began to glow brighter, and a doorway appeared in the crystal, opening with a soft hum. Inside, they were greeted by a group of beings, some humanoid, others entirely alien. Their expressions were kind but wary, and one stepped forward, a tall figure with silver skin and eyes that shimmered like galaxies. "Welcome," the figure said, its voice calm yet powerful. "We've been waiting for you." Patricia felt a chill run down her spine. "Waiting for us? Why?" The figure smiled faintly. "Because the fate of all worlds depends on what you do next." Patricia tightened her grip on Emma's hand, her resolve hardening. She didn't know what lay ahead, but one thing was clear: this was no ordinary adventure. This was a battle for the survival of everything she had ever known, and she was at the heart of it.